Hi everyone, I hope you are having a wonderful time. Today I'm going to share my experience of using this SMS Audio SHX headphone amplifier with preamplifier stage built in. This one is fully balanced design using high quality resistor properly matched for preamp and headphone amplifier stage. It has three different headphone outputs: 4.4 millimeter XLR balance and 6.35 millimeter regular single-ended outputs. So headphone stage is very quiet, absolutely transparent sounding, and sometimes I find it to be a little too transparent, especially when I pair with SMS own SUX deck. This SHX is retail for $700 for fully balanced design. It has analog inputs and outputs. Only thing that a SMS need to work on these SH series is they got to have a 12-volt trigger. That will be much needed option. And also this one is dedicated headphone amplifier stage with preamplifier, so it doesn't have remote control. So that's another a little downside for someone who would like to use it as a both function. Preamplifier stage is very quiet and absolutely transparent, totally reflect to the headphone amplifier stage sound signature. So when I'm using in my system, as usual, I started off with my streaming setup, pair with a few different amplifiers and DAC, and it totally shows the pairing component and sound signature. So I tried this Musician Pegasus 2, JC Acoustic UDP5, SMS SU9 Ultra, Topping D93. So inputs and outputs may not be enough if you want to use a lot of component, especially if you want to use it as a preamp. Volume stage is very good, nice and precise control, other than a little plasticky knob, the black knob. I really wish that they come out with silver, same color as the chassis, so that would be very nice touch. So this SHX has the three different gain option for headphone amplifier stage. It doesn't affect the preamp stage, and also you can turn the preamplifier off or headphone amplifier off completely, whichever one you are using. When I was using headphone stage, I'm only using low gain setting because I was using Sony MDR7506 on my desk and listening to music and even my own voice and editing videos, and it sounded very natural, very accurate. And when I'm listening to my music streaming online, and I find it to be very nice and punchy bass with very well controlled refined sound signature. That is regular RCA cable directly connected from Mac Studio. And when I switch it over to this SUX and using USB, and it sounded a little too analytical and too revealing sound, and it sounded a bit cold when I'm using Sony MDR7506. If you are thinking of combining these two components for your headphone amplifier stage, if your headphone is very transparent sounding headphones, probably you might want to play around with the internal built-in sound option inside this SUX deck. It has many different options there, like even tube or rich or those kind of sounds. But if you use standard option like I do, it's gonna be too transparent. Highs are a bit airy and well extended, and it has nice and precise sound quality to it. When I switch it over to like Moondrop or Venus planar magnetic headphones, same experience, but I want a little bit more gain, so I switch it over to medium gain position. It sounded very nice. So headphone amplifier stage is totally transparent and quiet. All you have to do is match the pairing component or fine tune it to the way you like it. So Then after I was using on my desk, then I moved it over to main system pairing with Sabai Audio A8 500 watts Ice Power Class D mono blocks combination driving these two speakers, JBL L100 Classic 75th and Pioneer TED S1EX towers. Music feeder from my Sony HAB-Z1 ES to this SUX or feed it directly from Eversolo DMP A8. I listen through Tidal, Amazon Music, Spotify. I find it to be very transparent sounding, no matter what you play or pair with. But one thing that really bugged me is due to very transparent sounding sound signature of these combination amplifier to DAC to pre-stage, I couldn't listen with my JBL L100 Classic 75th. It exceeded my brightness threshold. So that's what really transparent component will do. Please keep in mind this 500 watts Class D mono blocks are very transparent too. So this combination is not really helping pairing with this JBL L100 Classic 75th. This room is 26 by 16 and 85% is treated. So because of the brightness, I switched it over to my Pioneer TED S1EX towers, and sound is more refined and well controlled, wide and deep, very accurate sound. What I like about pairing with this S1EX towers is stereo image. Big towers totally disappear. Nothing but all music. Layers and layers of music with very well extended all over the frequency range, plus nice space and good quality sound in every frequency sound reproduction, and voices and vocals are very accurate. Best of all, instrument separation is probably one of the best. So I tested a bunch of my music. When I tried with subwoofer pairing, so I connected subwoofer cable to RCA out of this SHX preamplifier stage, and I find it to be gain is not enough. So that's the one downside that I like to mention. The balance out is gain is 66 and RCA is 33 ohms, so that is totally different gain. So you have to, or I have to raise the gain on the subwoofer. So that's the one thing that I like to mention. User interface, everything is great other than not having remote control and 12-volt trigger. The build quality is very nice. Sound quality can totally show for the price that they are asking for. Totally transparent and very nice, dark and clean background that it can produce. I pay a lot of attention to background noise and how much darker it can get while I'm listening my music. So this combination in particular, as well as this SHX preamplifier and headphone stage, will totally redeliver the music as the artist is recorded, as well as main sound signature of your system or your speakers. $700 for this SHX preamplifier and headphone stages totally reflect the build quality and sound quality. So if you are looking for what headphone stage or headphone / pre-stage to go with, I can recommend this SHX for you to try it because it can give you better noise control and clean and transparent sound to it with enough power to drive pretty much any headphones on the planet, as well as very transparent and precision preamplifier stage can be paired with any hi-fi systems. That's it, my friend. That is my experience that I like to share with you. Thank you for watching and happy listening.
Next one is, it's called Kiss of Life. And let's hear some bass. So great. On the bass, Mr. Poriboy Keisuke-san. On the guitar, Orima Yosuke-san.